diaspora. Sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on both sides of the story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to both sides of the story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
If children live with criticism, they learn to condemn. If children live with hostility, they learn to fight. If children live with fear, they learn to be apprehensive. If children live with pity, they learn to feel sorry for themselves. If children live with ridicule, they learn to feel shy. If children live with jealousy, they learn to feel envy. If children live with shame, they learn to feel guilty. If children live with encouragement, they learn confidence. If children live with tolerance, they learn patience. If children live with praise, they learn appreciation. If children live with acceptance, they learn to love. If children live with approval, they learn to like themselves. If children live with recognition, they learn it is good to have a goal. If children live with sharing, they learn generosity. If children live with honesty, they learn truthfulness. If children live with fairness, they learn justice. If children live with kindness and consideration, they learn respect. If children live with security, they learn to have faith in themselves and those about them. If children live with friendliness, they learn the world is a nice place in which to live.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait the love in our hearts, and they will find love in the world.
If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world.
If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with fairness, he learns justice.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their heart. They will find love in the world.
If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find love in the world.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their heart, and they will find love in the world.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, and the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development. It's the third day of the fifth month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. The month of May is being observed here in Jamaica as Child Month and National Exporters Month, and this week is Education Week. Meanwhile, Muslims around the world continue to observe the holy month of Ramadan, which runs for 30 days, ending at sundown, Tuesday, the 11th of May, 2021. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. The holy month of Ramadan is a time for fasting, prayer, and community for Muslims across the world. Constitution Day is being celebrated as a national day in Poland. It's World Laughter Day, Fiesta de las Cruces in Peru, also known as La Cruz de Mayo in Venezuela, and Dia de la Santa Cruz, or Holy Cross Day in Mexico. It's Kempo Kinenbi, or Constitution Memorial Day in Japan, observed as well in Australia, where they're also marking Labor Day in Queensland and May Day in the Northern Territory. It's World Press Freedom Day. Hoy es lunes, el 3 de mayo 2021. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both sides of the story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir both sides of the story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world.
C'est lundi le 3 mai 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutent, que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue!
To wake the love in our hearts, and they will find love in the world.
All we're saying is it's Monday, the 3rd of May, 2021, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with fairness, he learns justice.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world.
If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find love in the world.
Children learn what they live.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First San in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First San team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First San in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First San Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their heart.
It's day 3 of Child Month, and a good time to remind ourselves as adults about some of those timeless gems that have been passed on to us that we should never forget to pass on to our children. Labor for learning before you grow old. Learning is better than silver and gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay. Or as Francis Bacon puts it in The Advancement of Learning, published in 1605, we see then how far the monuments of wit and learning are more durable than the monuments of power or of the hands. For have not the verses of Homer continued 2,500 years or more without the loss of a syllable or letter, during which time infinite palaces, temples, castles, cities have been decayed and demolished? Speak the truth and speak it ever, cost it what it will. He who hides the wrong he did does the wrong thing still. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Help the weak if you're strong. Help the old if you're young. Keep a guard upon your tongue and own a fault if you're wrong. When you have work to do it with a will. If you aim to reach the top, you must climb the hill. Let's pass on the book of rules to our children. Let's help them to engender in our, well, let's all play our part to engender in our children the first talent. The first talent is the willingness to do. And for those unborn, the naming of our children must not be done in a frivolous way. It must be carefully thought out. As far as the family name is concerned, let's teach the children the history of their family and the family name. That's one sure way of keeping them grounded. Let's teach our children to engage their brains before they employ the organs of speech. Because, like the tongue, as Omar Khayyam told us in Rubaiyat, the moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. In other words, we can't take back our words or our writings, no matter how profusely we apologize. And therefore, we must teach our children to think before they speak and write. We must teach our children about thrift, while at the same time emphasizing that money is only 10% of our problem. Yes, only 10% of our problem. Draw for the children a circle with a 10% slice in the form of a right-angled triangle. They must know that the remaining 90% depends on them. Their habits, attitudes, work ethic, integrity, honesty, truthfulness, punctuality, trust, commitment, determination, and performance. If they embody these and other wholesome values, they will succeed. And they will, when they do, money becomes just 10% of their problem. However, if they resort to all the conceivable bad habits such as poor work ethic, lack of integrity, honesty, truthfulness, trust, commitment, and determination, their performance will be so poor and their workmanship so shoddy that they'll spend the rest of their lives chasing money, in which case, money then becomes 90% of their problem. So let us try as parents and guardians and adults in general, even as we ourselves try to avoid the traps of life, to insulate and inoculate our children as best as we can from what has been for a long time a very toxic environment. It's a delicate balancing act because at the same time, we have to give them enough room to grow and develop. Let's expose them and support them, watch them and learn from them as they exhibit their various talents. At some point, their desired talent or talents will shine through. Once we've identified that talent and confirmed with them that that's where they're heading, let's give them all the help and support they need. Our children must also be made aware of the 4 C's and the 4 D's. The first C is for connection. Our young people must be taught to connect the dots. Don't underestimate the value of buying games and puzzles which encourage that kind of approach. It is in connecting the dots that they're able to piece together the puzzle of life. The next C is credibility. Without that, we are nothing. We have nothing. And our children must be made to understand this. If we develop a bad reputation, it will follow us to our grave. Our credibility is what determines whether we're able to function effectively in a competitive environment. Our credibility is what determines whether people employ us or want to do business with us. Control is the next C. We must be in control of ourselves. We like to say to people, do not allow anyone or anything to control you to the point where you lose control of yourself. Do not allow anyone or anything to control you to the point where you lose control of yourself. Control is critical. If we neglect even one of these 3, our lives will be incomplete. We must therefore pay attention to the 4th and final C, completion. Incomplete work is unacceptable. Whatever our task or lot in life, we must see it through to its finality. Too many of us are guilty of starting the race of life and then falling by the wayside, fading away, not finishing the race. Let us not pass on these bad habits to our children. Let us teach them about completion. And then there are the 4 D's. The first D is for distraction. Our society is full of that. But our children must know that the worst disease any youngster can contract is bad company. And therefore they must be alert. The second D is for deception. People must be able to trust them. If they engage in deception, people will mistrust them and they will not prosper, which means they would be headed for the next D, destruction, feeling like their world is closing in on them when they start living problem-plagued lives, which usually end in the 4th D, DEBT, and ultimately DEATH. And that's final. And the last of the gems we'll leave with us this afternoon at this point. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny.
Teach them to wait for love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world.
If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find...
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free. Listening is free whenever, wherever. We thank those who have logged on to the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. Thank you for dialing one of two numbers from the United States and the United Kingdom to listen to Power 106 FM. If you would like so to do, here are the numbers. For those who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States, your number is 631-359-8281, 631-359-8281. And if you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to not just listen or hear, but also see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. And if you don't have a social media account like Facebook, hey, there's always YouTube. All you need is a device and internet connection, and you're good to go. Open a browser, type YouTube, and if you do that now, you should see this video trending. If you're not seeing it, then type in the search box DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to watch both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Coming up in a little while, today's edition of Land Solutions. But first, let's greet Beverline in Toronto, Canada, Inez Campbell-Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut, Velta Wilson, good afternoon, Quincy Brown in Grand Cayman, welcome, Sophia Nemad, good afternoon, Jeannie Chambers, good afternoon to you too, Cherry Henry, good afternoon. It was so nice to see those pictures of your mother. Nice lady, says Cherry Henry. Thank you very much, Cherry Henry. Yes, yesterday would have been, they would have marked the 68th anniversary of the birth of my late mother. And she was actually born on the 2nd of May, but registered on the 3rd, which is today. So one of those things. Faye Weller, blessed afternoon to you too. Jennifer Stewart in Kencott. Jennifer Stewart, there's a high-rise building across from the ice cream place in Kencott. I happen to have gone to that ice cream place on Sunday morning between 7:54 and 8:05. And that high-rise building across from the ice cream shop was blaring some sounds, a babunos cacophony. Babunos cacophony, that's the correct pronunciation. A babunos cacophony laced with terms and expressions that would make the biggest terrorist in the world blush. That's how awful it was on a Sunday morning. And then we wonder why and why and why. Yeah, we'll have to leave it there for now. Let's go to the break and come back with Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Contractors, designers, do-it-yourselfers, get your construction aids, scaffolding, props, and more from Garrow Trading. Visit our boutique showroom, choose from a variety of tiles, toilets, drains, and stones. Open 9 to 5 Mondays to Fridays, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. 169 Constant Spring Road, Kingston 8. 876-634-9773-4. 876-669-8996. Garrow Trading and Installation Limited. Design your style.
The Board of Directors and Management of Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited Group, MMS, celebrates their 31st anniversary and the opening of the organization's new product sales and distribution center on Tuesday, May 4. Join Real Business with host Roston Hyman and Dr. Andrea Sutherland and Power Talk with host Ronnie Thwaites as they take you through the goals, history, and expansion of the company. This broadcast is brought to you by Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited Group, 1 Eureka Road, Kingston 5. That's a live broadcast of Real Business and Power Talk from the 31st anniversary and the opening of the organization's new product sales and distribution center, 14 Collins Green Avenue, right here on Power 106 FM.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, 876, well, let's leave it at 4 for now. 876-922-4112 to 4. The text line for Land Solutions today, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is www.landsolutionsja.com. That's landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 in the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. In light of the COVID-19 infection prevention and control mechanisms, you're encouraged to call the offices of Brown, Findley and Company instead of just turning up. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950. That's 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. 876-908-3518. In a moment, your host on Land Solutions for today, attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Thank you, Dervan, and good afternoon, listeners. Welcome again to Land Solutions. Any matter you have, as Dervan just told you, related to land ownership, please give me a call. Buying land, selling land, getting a title for land, probating your will, writing the will. The number is to call 922-4112-4. And I must say I'm seeing more persons interested in writing their wills, I guess maybe because of the whole implications of COVID. But that's really good, and I want to encourage persons, if you want to write your will, we're ready and willing to assist you. But it's very, very important because a lot of the problems and the uncertainties that come with death, could be avoided if persons would just spend a little time to write a will. When you're writing a will, there are certain things that if you're going to come in for us to write it, it's good if you have certain things in mind. Choose your executors. Know the persons you're going to appoint as your executors, and executors are important persons. They are the persons who are going to ensure that everything that is said in the will is carried out. They are going to get the monies that are supposed to come to your estate. It's going to come in the executors' names. They are going to collect your insurance money, your NHC refund, any money you have in the bank that's in your name alone. Executors' names would have to go on your title before it can go to the beneficiaries. Executors have the right to sell your property. Even though you might say in the will it's not to be sold, that again is against the law. You can't tell the executors not to sell. They have the right to sell. Executors are also entitled to 6% of what you die leaving. So you have a house value of $10 million, executors are to get $600,000. So those are things you need to consider. So I've always said on this program, the best executors to have are your beneficiaries. Unless you have other reasons where you say, okay, I might want somebody more responsible to be in charge of this. But executors are entitled to 6%, and your beneficiaries sometimes are your best executors. So you're willing the property to your spouse and your children, and they are responsible people, you can make them the executors. And you can have as many as 4 executors. And I always like when persons list the assets in the will. So you have bank account at X Bank, Ligani branch. You don't have to tell the lawyer how much money you have in it, but X Bank, Ligani branch, put it in there. Let your beneficiaries know what you have, so there is no uncertainty and nothing is lost in the fray. If you notice, I noticed the other day that there were pages and pages of advertisements in the newspaper in relation to dormant accounts that the banks are about to transfer to the government. So you need to let, and a lot of these persons have died and relatives have not known that they had accounts. So please put persons in the know and list the assets in your will. And also when we're making wills, we do about 4 will give you, 3 will keep one. You might not want your relatives to see your will because your will is private. Not even the witnesses are supposed to read what is in your will when they are witnessing your signature. But if I have done a will for you, just let your beneficiaries know. If anything should happen to me, talk to Gloria Brown, because we keep a will bank where we have all the wills we have written. And we'll always have an original in case the relatives don't have yours. But it's important for persons to know you have a will. Okay, and remember that it doesn't make any sense at all for you to write the will and put it away and then it cannot be found. Let somebody know. There must be somebody you can trust enough to say, I have a will, or this is my lawyer. So I'm encouraging persons. When you come to me, make sure you know the correct spelling of the names of the persons, the beneficiaries. You don't have to come to us with any witnesses. We prefer to witness the wills ourselves, us the lawyers in the office. Unless the person who we're making the will for is unable to come to the office, then we'll give you the will and ask you to take it back to the person and get 2 responsible persons to witness. Remember, the witnesses should be independent persons. They are not supposed to read your will, but they are also not supposed to get anything out of the will or their spouses. So if I witness your will, you can't leave something for my husband. Or if my husband witnesses the will, you can't leave anything for him or for me. All right? That is it. Make sure that you know the formalities. And the will must be in writing. Don't tell me that before Mama died, she gave you the title, so the house is yours. It must be in writing. Numbers to call, 876-922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114. And you can send me a text message or a WhatsApp message at 876-387-3183. 387-3183 is the text line, or you can send me a message on that number as well. You can also send me an email at gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. A text message. So remember the text line 387-3183. If persons are joint tenants, can one party put another person's name on the title without the other person's consent? Yes. So if 2 persons are joint tenants, or any number of persons are joint tenants, and you can have 1,000,000 persons as joint tenants. Okay, and what does that mean? What does joint tenancy mean? It means that whoever lives the longest is going to own the property or the longer. So 3 persons are on a title, John, Mary, and Martha. When Mary dies, the property will belong to John and Martha alone. John dies, the property will belong to Martha alone. So if John willed the property to somebody and he's not the one who died last, the person he willed it to cannot get it. When it comes to joint tenancy, the principle of survivorship operates. The survivor will get it. So the text message, the person is asking, if persons are joint tenants, can one party put another person's name on the title without the other person's consent? And the answer is yes. So John and Mary are joint tenants. John wants to sever the tenancy because he wants to be a tenant in common with Mary because he wants to be able to will his share. And Mary is saying, no, I'm not going to allow it. John can definitely go ahead and do a transfer to transfer his share to himself and his son or whoever he wants to. And immediately he will become a tenant in common with Mary. He can't touch Mary's share, but he can sever the tenants even without Mary knowing, even without Mary's permission. If he has the title, that's easy to do. If he doesn't have the title, he can do something we call a dispensation. If the bank has the title, though, and there's a mortgage on it, you're going to run into a problem because the bank might not want to release the title without the permission of all parties on the title, and then you would have a challenge because the titles office will not want to register the transfer without the consent of the mortgagee. So with the title, if you have paid off the mortgage and the bank is still holding on to the mortgage, so the title, that is fine. You can sever the tenancy because you don't need the title. But if there's an outstanding mortgage, the titles office might be reluctant to allow you to. The number is to call 876-922-4112, 922-4113, and 922-4114. And I want to say a special good afternoon to all the persons who continue to support this program and who will always tell us that they do not miss the program, that religiously they listen and they have learned so much. And we want to thank those persons for continuing to listen and to support. Remember, you can send me a text message at 387-3183. 387-3183, or you can send me a WhatsApp message at that same number, 387-3183. Another text message. My mother died leaving 6 children and no will. How do we go about dividing the property? And remember, we're talking about this no will situation. Please make the wills. I'm tired of persons coming to the office and saying that persons died suddenly. Okay, as long as we reach 18, we are supposed to be making wills and stop talking about dying suddenly. The one thing that is certain, as we always say, 2 things are certain, death and taxes. So I'm begging persons, as soon as they reach 18, let us get in the culture. I leave all I have to my mother or my father or my parents or my brothers and sisters. Just write it down. I beg of my listeners, please, let us get in the culture of writing things down. So my mother died leaving 6 children and no will. How do we go about dividing the property? You did not say if your mother had a husband. So let me take it for granted that your mother never had a husband. Just 6 children and no will. So you're going to apply to administer your mother's estate. If your mother had left a will, we would say you're going to probate the will. So you're going to have to get a lawyer now to administer the estate, to apply for what we call a grant of letters of administration. 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the children can apply for the grant. I don't like when one person applies, so I prefer if 2 or 3 or 4 of you apply. And the lawyer will prepare some papers and send to the court. So you're going to have to complete a form to give the lawyer information on all the beneficiaries. We're going to need name, date of birth, address, occupation, and TRN. TRN, for those abroad listening, is taxpayer registration number. It's a unique number. Like how we are in America, the social security number is a unique number. That's how you have to have a taxpayer registration number, TRN. And it doesn't matter that you have never lived in Jamaica, you have never visited Jamaica. As long as you are going to do any business related to Jamaica, you're going to have to get this TRN. And it's very easy to get. We get them for persons all the time. What we'll do is we'll send you a letter of consent for you to sign, as well as the TRN form, and you're going to sign the letter of consent and the TRN form. And also we're going to sign the letter before a notary public. You're going to sign the TRN form. There's no space for the notary on it, but the notary can sign it. And you're also going to get the notary to certify your ID. The biggest challenge we have...
Sorry, Ms. Brown, tell us some more after the break, please.
Thank you, Dervan.
Light up your life with a brighter days loan from First Heritage Credit Union. Get your unsecured motor vehicle loan or consolidate your credit card payments. The time by First Heritage Credit Union is 2:45. 2:45.
Join OneSpotMedia.com for 5 exhilarating days of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships live on OneSpotMedia.com pay-per-view from May 11 to May 15, 2021. Purchase your early bird season pass by April 26 for only US $25.99. The early bird season pass by May 3 for US $27.99, or the regular season pass for US $34.99. Simply log in to onespotmedia.com, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go, so don't miss out on Jamaica's most anticipated sporting event. Purchase your pay-per-view ticket today.
You're listening to Land Solutions with attorney at law Gloria Brown. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, land surveys, wills or willing property, the whole works. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and the text line for Land Solutions, which doubles as a WhatsApp number as well, 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. That's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. If you wish to get in touch with the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, they're headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. In light of the infection prevention and control mechanisms, you're encouraged to call ahead instead of turning up. Call and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Welcome back, listeners. I was talking about the TRN, persons getting TRN numbers. Sorry, TRN, the N is for number, getting TRNs for persons abroad. So we're going to send you a form, the TRN form, which is the one for individuals. We're also going to do a letter of consent giving permission for us to get the TRN for you. And you're going to get those signed by a notary. Also, you're going to have to get the notary to certify a picture ID, whether your driver's license or your passport. And then we will send to do the application. The biggest challenge we have when we send those documents abroad is that persons don't get the ID certified, or the signature on the ID is different from the signature on the consent letter and the form. Those three signatures must be identical. If you find up, maybe you might say, I've had this ID for a long time, I can't sign that signature the same way. Try and sign as close as possible. And if you can't, if it's not so close, then get the notary to sign the TRN form. Even though there's no provision there for the notary, get the notary to find some space near your signature and certify it, because some of the tax offices will accept it if the signature is not so close, if the notary notarizes the TRN form. And remember, I get a lot of pushback from clients abroad who will say that they don't see why they need the TRN. It's just the law. It's just the rules out here. We have laws in Jamaica as well. And for you to get a property in your name, sell a property, get a property that was left to you in a will, it's important for you to have a TRN. So if you come to Jamaica on vacation, just walk in a tax office one day with your ID and get one, and you'll keep it for life. And speaking of keeping it for life, when a person dies, you also have to get a new TRN for that dead person, really. An estate TRN. So that's a different process. That's the one you use the form for organization. So after you get a grant of probate or administration, then the lawyers will have to apply for an estate TRN or give you the documents to take to the tax office, and the executors will have to get this particular TRN before we can complete the process. So, a lot of things to be done. So what I'm saying to these persons, your mother has died, leaving 6 children, go to the lawyer, with the information, name, address, occupation, TRN for all the siblings, not even just the age, but the date of birth for all the siblings, as well as the copy of the death certificate. And remember, it's important when your relatives die, don't just get one death certificate, get about 5 or 6, especially when they die abroad. Because when you come and give us the death certificate for titles office and one for the court, we're not going to get them back. The court will keep it forever. The titles office will do the same thing. So sometimes persons get a little upset when you say, I can't give you back the marriage certificate or the death certificate or the birth certificate. But when you send it to these government institutions, they have to keep them as a part of their records, because if somebody should question what is done, they must have the original documentation to support. Extremely important. The numbers to call 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114. And the text line is 387-3183. And you can also use that as the WhatsApp number, 387-3183. Or you can send me an email, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Another text message. A piece of land was left for me in a will. Can I give my son in a deed of gift when the probate comes through? You can give it to your son. You don't have to wait until the probate comes through. Make a will now, willing it to your son, because something could happen to you before the probate comes through. So it is important for you to do that. Just make a will now, willing it to the son. When the probate comes through, then it depends. If the land has a title, then you can't just do a deed of gift. You can't do a deed if the land has a title. So if the land has a title, then it has to be transferred to you, and then you can transfer it to your son. But in the meantime, please put it in the will. It is very, very important. And I see where a listener is asking if he or she can come to see me tomorrow. I will talk to you afterwards, because I like to get the information from the listener first. Because sometimes you want to come in, and when you come in, it's a wasted trip, and sometimes persons are coming from far. Because if you had called before, I could have told you what to take with you when coming. So it's always important to talk to me first. I see another text message. My husband and I are paying mortgage. What happens if either of us die? Do our individual mortgages die with the person? It depends on the institution. Because I know particularly for the National Housing Trust, the mortgages are insured for both persons. So if one should die, then you stop paying the mortgage. But in recent times, especially, I've seen where some of the commercial banks, where persons have died, and the banks are going after their beneficiaries, wanting them to continue paying the mortgage, or if the banks are moving to sell the properties. So it's important when you are taking out a loan to ensure that the loan is insured. Well, not the property is insured in case it burns down. That the loan is insured. The insurance is taken out. So if you die, then that insurance money will go to the bank to clear the loan. So please ensure that that is done. So what I would ask you to do is to talk back to your financial institution where you got the mortgage from and find out if that is the case. Because sometimes the person who has died is the breadwinner, and the other person cannot afford to pay the mortgage, and then we have challenges. So I thank you very much for that question. If I'm occupying a piece of land given to me by my deceased mother, whom I buried for over 24 years ago, what action can I take? And this action should have been taken long ago. Another problem I'm having is that my fellow citizens are taking too long to deal with matters. They are waiting until they are in trouble. Okay, 24 years ago, Mom died. So what I would want this person to do is to go and survey the piece of land. I'm not sure if the land has a title already, but you are occupying it. Let's say there's no title in your mom's name and you're occupying it. I'm going to ask you to survey it, and you're going to get that survey diagram. You're going to pay up the property taxes, and you're also going to get 2 persons who have known the land for 30 years. You don't have to let them write anything. You just need their names, ages, addresses, and occupations, because what they are to be signed will be prepared by the attorney. And then anything you have to show that you have been on that property, you have occupied or controlled that property. And remember, occupation doesn't mean you are living there. You don't have to be living there to occupy it. You could be farming it. Maybe you have fenced it, you have animals on it. Maybe you just bush it every now and then, or you just check on it. So occupation doesn't mean you're planting. Maybe you're just planting some fruit trees on it. All of those things are important. So, and then any paper you have, maybe you're living there and you have old tax papers, or you have been paying the taxes even though you're not living there. Any documentation you have to help you to support your claim would be very, very helpful. But the first thing you need to start with is a survey diagram. And I'm encouraging everybody out there who has living on a piece of land. I don't know how you have got it. Maybe you bought it. Maybe it was given to you as a gift, but you have been living there, or you have been controlling it. You have been farming it. It's yours. As I said, will to you. You bought it years ago. Survey it. Start with the survey. It's very, very important to start with the survey diagram. When you have a survey and come into our office, we can start the process right away, the titling process. Remember the numbers to call: 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114. And the text line is 387-3183. 387-3183 is the text line. Another text message. In your program next week, please give us the format on how to write a will when you are joint tenants and you have children. Okay, and all right. Remember, as I said, when persons are joint tenants, then if one dies, the other one will get it. But it's important for the joint tenants to still put the property in the will. Because what happens if both of you should die at the same time, or if one should die and the other one doesn't get a chance to change, then nobody would have to make a will or to change the will, then nobody would have willed it. So in the will, suppose Mary and John are joint tenants. In the will, Mary should put, if John should die before me, I give the property to. And John should also write a will to say, if Mary should die before me, I give the property to. Remember, we said when persons are joint tenants, if one should die, the property will go to the other one. But what happens if both parties die at the same time? God forbid, in an accident or something, that's something even more tragic. If both persons should die at the same time, the law says that the younger person died last. So John and Mary are joint tenants and they die at the same time in an accident. If Mary is younger, then the law says Mary died last, even though you don't know which one died last. The law says the younger one died last, so Mary would have died last. So Mary's will would be the one that would be the will that would dispose of that property. So the property would fall into Mary's estate. So if Mary didn't make a will, it would go to her next of kin, her children, etc. If Mary made a will, it would go to whoever she willed it to. So suppose Mary said, if John died before me, I give it to, and John said, if Mary died before me, I give it to. It is Mary's if that would count. Mary saying if John should die, because John being older, the law says that John died before Mary when both of them died at the same time. Right? So you're going to put that in your will. If my parents should, if the other joint tenant should die before me, I give the property to. And sometimes when couples come to us in relations, couples, husband and wife, we make joint wills where both of them would make the one will saying what is to happen to the properties. And that is a good way sometimes because it prevents the other party from changing the will if one should die. So those are important things. And if you need any more information, wanting to know about the joint tenancy, please feel free to call me in office. And remember our office numbers, 908-1950 is the office number, or 908-3518. And we encourage our listeners to call us. Remember, we have an office at Winchester Business Center. We also have an office in Ocherius at the Jamaica National Building. And Miss Finley will be in Ocherius this Thursday. So you can go and see her. Maybe about midday is a good time to see Miss Finley in Ocherius at the Ocherius office at Jamaica National Building. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Both sides of the story.
Firefighters dedicate their lives to the protection of life and property. Sometimes that dedication is in the form of countless hours volunteered over many years. For others, it is many selfless years working in the industry. Join both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm as he highlights the celebration in observance of International Firefighters Day, Tuesday, May 4, between 2 to 5 p.m. This broadcast is brought to you by National Safety Limited. Your safety is our concern. And Hose Assembly and Supplies, equipping Jamaica for success. That's a live broadcast in observance of International Firefighters Day during both sides of the story on Tuesday, May 4, right here on Power 106 FM.
Both sides of the story.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, which is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. That's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building. That's where Attorney at Law Calicia Findlay will be this Thursday. And in the meantime, you're still encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up. The numbers to call: the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's Attorney at Law Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan.
Oh, and we have a call for you, Ms. Brown.
Thanks, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Brown.
Yes, how can I help you?
I'm calling from way in St. Elizabeth.
Oh, wow, welcome.
I am living on a property from so many years now. But I am still paying. I am responsible for paying the taxes, which you tell me taxes can't earn land. Anyway, I am asking you, if we are looking about to survey the land, because plenty of us live on the same property.
Yes.
When I get my past survey,
yes.
What is the next step?
All right. After you get it surveyed, then an application must be made for a title for you. Okay, so you're going to have to get the survey and the tax papers and anything you have to show that you are there. Maybe the children's birth certificate, the light bill, anything to show you are there. And persons who have known the land for 30 years, the lawyer will prepare something for them to sign up and apply for the title. When you get your title now, then you will get to pay your tax just for your little piece.
Like my little piece?
Well, after you get the title, the taxes office will let you pay tax just for your piece. So just survey your little piece now.
I am looking about.
Yes, but don't survey your piece with anybody else owning it. Just survey the piece that you own.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing.
Yes. And then
the next step.
Take it to the lawyer take it to the lawyer after that, to your lawyer to apply for the title.
Oh, the lawyer should apply for the title.
Yes.
In my case.
Yes, in your case, yes. And
okay. Thank you very much.
And you can put any number of names on the title that you want.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Brown.
All right. You can always feel free to call me back.
Okay.
All right. Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. So my listener is doing the right thing. She's applying for her title. And even though there are 20, 30, 45, 6, 7, any number of persons on the land, when you're surveying your little piece. Of course, sometimes it can be a little more complex because when I see the survey diagram, I need to look at the diagram to see if the land has a title already. And if it has a title already, I need to look at the conditions on the title. Because there could be a condition on the title to say the land is not to be subdivided, but the surveyor will advise, because the surveyor would see the title before the survey and will tell and should tell the client if it is feasible. Because if the title says the land is not to be subdivided, we might have to go to the Supreme Court to do an application to modify the covenant and to see if they would allow that condition to be changed. And then you would have to you're going to have to get the property subdivided, and that's a part of the challenge, because sometimes the parish council might oppose it to say your piece is too small. So I'm really hoping that in this situation there's no title for the property, or if there's a title, there's no condition prohibiting subdivision, because you could run into a lot of expenses.
We have another call for you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Ms. Brown.
Yes, good afternoon.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Good afternoon, Ms. Brown. This is Earl Black from Miss Ivy.
Hello? Hello? All right, don't seem to be hearing the client too well.
Let's give you another call coming through on our WhatsApp, Ms. Brown.
Yes, thank you, Dervan.
Oh, the person is there. Sorry, go back to the original caller, please.
Okay, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Brown. We would love to speak to you off here, please.
All right, I'm going to ask the technical operator to take your number, and he'll give me the number after, and I will call back.
I would be grateful.
Sure. Yes, Dervan.
Next caller, please, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good day to you.
Good day, sir.
A will was made for the land to be shared up among the children. However, the part that the house is on was given to one of the children.
Yes.
Should that child survey that section, how much land would that take up with the house? Because there was no specification of amount. You just said the part of the house upon.
Yes, I would get the guidance of a surveyor. I would get the guidance of a surveyor to see how much land is to be occupied with the house.
So there's no specific amount of land that generally goes with a house?
No, because remember, it's going to depend on how much land is there in the first place, how much land the house was occupying before. So a lot of things will be taken into consideration. So the best person to advise you is not a lawyer, but a surveyor.
All right, take care. Give thanks.
Thanks, sir. You too. And it's interesting that the client asked that. But the number to call 922-411-225. Because sometimes I get clients who come into the office and say, well, the mother will the house, but they never will any land, says the house alone. You know, and of course, that's ridiculous. The person has to have proper access to the house. The road must be there, and they must have enough space around the house. Suppose the house was going with there was a garden, people are farming around the house. They have to get sufficient land. So it makes no sense to say all mama will for the person was the house and never will any land. The house will imply that there is land as well. So I thank the client for that question. The numbers to call 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. And remember, the text line is 387-3183. And you can also send me a WhatsApp message on that number as well. And you can send an email to gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. We have offices in Winchester Business Center, Shop 39, and that's at the back of Winchester Business Center. And also at Ocho Rios at Jamaica National Building. And Miss Finley will be there this Thursday, maybe from about 11. So you can go in and see Miss Finley in the Ocho Rios office in relation to any matter related to land ownership. Another text message. Okay. My husband died and left insurance for the children, none of which was mine. The money was for them only. We had bought a house as joint tenants. Are the children entitled to any benefit from the house? On the face of it, no. Because you are joint tenants, that means your husband having died, you are the survivor, the house is yours alone as the survivor. Okay, if they want to claim on it, they would have to go to court, and that would be a difficult sell for them to prove to the court that they are to get anything from that house because you are the survivor, unless there are other circumstances that I'm not taking into account right now. But that is as it is. Numbers to call 922-4112, 922-4113, and 922-4115. And remember the text line 387-3183. My friend who is in the U.S. wants me to look about her title that she got as a gift in 1995, and the giver has now died. She has sent me her copy tiara, and what do I do to start helping her? As I always advise, the best to start helping her, I want you to start by getting the land surveyed. If there's a title already, then you don't need to do a survey. You need to say the person got it as a gift in 95, the giver has now died. So you're going to need to survey. And I need a little bit more information when you say they got it as a gift to see what kind of documentation was given to them. Was it in a will, or was it just a deed of gift that the persons love to write up? And we need to be very, very careful about these documents we call deed of gift, because if the land has a title already, then you are not supposed to have a deed. Okay, you are supposed to be doing a transfer. And it's not enough to just get somebody to sign up some papers for you to say, yes, the land is mine. Always, when it comes to land transactions, always try to get the services of a real estate attorney in order to assist you. If someone lives on a land without having the title but has been paying the taxes for over 40 years, will that person be entitled to the piece of land? Paying the taxes is not what is going to make the person entitled, but the person has been living there. You said for over 40 years. So because the person has been living there for such a long time, the person could claim the land. And you're going to use the old tax papers as evidence that you have been living there. So, and anything else you have, maybe an old light bill, or maybe we could get a letter from JPS to say when you entered into your contract, all of those you lose as evidence. But what is going to make you claim the property is because you have been living there. So if you have been living there for 40 years, but I am the one paying the taxes, you have a right to the land. I don't have a right, even though I am paying the taxes. And I want persons to understand. I'm going to try to keep saying that. So you are living on the land for 40 years. I am paying the taxes. You are the one who will be able to claim the land. I can't claim it because I am paying the taxes, because I don't live there. You can claim it because you live there even though you're not paying the taxes. Taxes cannot make persons own land paying taxes. You're going to give me your tax papers because you're living there to help me as evidence of that. But if I'm the one, if somebody else is paying the taxes and you are living there, you are in the good position. And the good thing for you is that you don't have to go and pay the taxes now because somebody paid it already. All right, so please, I want persons listening, Jamaicans, have this hang up. I'm paying the taxes, so the land is mine. Taxes cannot make you own land, or else you could find all the Jamaicans who are not paying theirs and go and pay it for them. Do you think that would give you their land? And that is what I always use to explain to persons that it's ridiculous to think that paying taxes can make you owner of land. So what you need to do is control your property. Control your property. Rent it to somebody to farm it, bush it, fence it, plant some fruit trees on it. Get to, under every tree in Jamaica, you see some young plants growing. Root up some ackee and some apple and plant them on your property to put some amount of control, because squatters will be reluctant to cut down the fruit trees. But put some control over your property, no matter where it is, and go and visit every now and then to make sure persons are not taking it over. But I ask persons, especially because your relatives have worked so hard to buy the property, control it. This is Land Solution.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3:15. Everyday living, we make it worthwhile. Real people, real value. Oh, what a style! From kitchen to bathroom, a whole heap of tile. Home and things for everyday living. Nice
Fix up your home, fix up every room. Shop every day, shop real value. Pictures and faucets to catch your eye. We have the options, we have the style. Everyday living, so versatile. Real people, real value. Oh, what a style! Lowest price guarantee on everything you see. Home and things for everyday living.
The Board of Directors and Management of Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited Group, MMS, celebrates their 31st anniversary and the opening of the organization's new product sales and distribution center on Tuesday, May 4. Join Real Business with host Roston Hyman and Dr. Andrea Sutherland and Power Talk with host Ronnie Thwaites as they take you through the goals, history, and expansion of the company. This broadcast is brought to you by Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited Group, 1 Eureka Road, Kingston 5. That's a live broadcast of Real Business and Power Talk from the 31st anniversary and the opening of the organization's new product sales and distribution center, 14 Collins Green Avenue, right here on Power 106 FM.
It's the final segment of Land Solutions for today, Monday, the 3rd of May, 2021. Here's your opportunity to get in some more questions and seek further clarification before this week's edition of Land Solutions ends at 3:30. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, or 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number. That's 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. That's landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. If you wish to send an email message, the email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho St. Anne. That's where attorney at law Calicia Findley will be on Thursday. As usual, though, it makes a lot of sense to call ahead before turning up or instead of turning up. Call and you will be advised accordingly so that you would have an idea of what information you might need to or documentation you might need to take with you, etc. Instead of just turning up, as my late mother would say, with your too long hand, and then, right, you have a difficulty and have to go back home and get whatever. Call. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950. That's 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. 876-908-3518. Here once again is attorney at law Gloria Brown, and we have a caller for you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, attorney.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, at the beginning of your show, you advocated a will for estate planning. What about the situation of a living trust? Isn't that appropriate in Jamaica? Isn't that
No,
Hello?
because I find the equivalent to that is what we would call our power of attorney, and it dies with you.
Hello?
Okay, you can't hear me?
No, I'm not hearing you clearly.
Okay, no, not in Jamaica.
Yes?
What we do in personal life, we do like a power of attorney, but it dies with person.
So there's no the law does not allow for a successor trustee?
No.
Interesting.
So your executor is the one who is going to step in after death. Only the will speaks after your death.
But I mean, doesn't the executor have too much power in terms of situations when a will is to be executed?
Not to be executed, it's to be probated.
To be probated, sorry.
Right. Yes, the executor is in charge. The executor steps in the shoes of the dead person, you know.
Yeah, but he has too much power, so I think a living trust would really.
No, but what's the difference? Wouldn't the trustee wouldn't have equal power?
No, but the person would have advocated how the trust should be handled after that.
But that's that's the same thing. You're going to advocate how it is to be handled after death by your executor. That's why you choose your executor, somebody who you have confidence in.
But for example, cost and things like those, and the whole idea of the probate.
Yes.
Are those things costly? And
yes,
those could be avoided through a living trust?
Well, what we encourage persons to do then is to dispose of the property when you're alive. So give it to your children when you're alive, or your beneficiaries. But if you don't do it, it's the probate that's going to have to dispose of it. And the executor steps into the shoes of the dead person and can do anything the dead person could do.
But,
I appreciate what you're saying, but that's just the reality.
Well, I'm of the view that law should be changed. That would prevent a whole lot of the problems that we have in relation to the states and
but I don't know if we're going to overseeing is not really that there's a problem in probate. The problem is that we're not making the will. So I don't think we're going to make the trust either.
It's not about the type of plan, but it's all about not planning.
That is it, my brother.
I see.
That is it, my brother. I don't think 10% of us making wills.
Well, I think the living trust would be something I'm thinking through. I thought along maybe relation problems. Okay, thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much for the call. Very interesting. So what the listener is advocating is that we set up what the Americans call the living trust, where you dictate what should happen and in your lifetime, and then the trustee will continue after death, which is really in a way equivalent. But as he says, the probate is expensive, which is true. But I don't find persons quarreling too much about the cost of the probate. Is the fact that we're not probating any will, we're administering estates, because the person not making will, so we have to administer. And as I said before, a lot of the problems we're having is because of this same thing, because expectations and reality not coinciding. Because I expect that when Mama dies, I'm going to get the property, because she told me that before she died, and everybody in the community, they all know that I'm the one who used to look after her. I'm her favorite child, and I'm her first child. They know that is mine, and before Mama died, she gave me the title. But Mama died and didn't make any will. So it doesn't make sense for you to come and tell me that everybody in the community knows that is yours, or Mama said it was yours. That makes no sense. Mama did not make a will, so half of the property is going to go to Mama's husband and the other half for all her 5 children.
Another one for you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Brown.
Yes, sir.
I'm living on a property. You see, I got it from my grandmother. She leave a will.
She left
the
a
other
will.
day I went to pay the tax, and the name that is on the tax is not her. As owner is not her name.
So her name, who used to be on it before?
I don't know if it's an error, no, because it's like her name is Leonora, and the person and what I see on it is Len.
You missed me a while ago. What you see on it is?
I don't hear you.
I didn't hear what you say. You see on it now. Okay, I'm not hearing you too well.
Okay.
So, what I wanted to find out from the listener, if the name has changed, is it the first you're paying the taxes? Or
No, you can speak a little louder for me, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. Is it the first you're paying the taxes?
No, what's happening? I'm living on this property from my grandmother was alive, right?
All right, just
answer
this one question for me.
No, but I did not know, miss. But I did not notice that name.
On the old tax papers, before this, what name was on the old tax papers? Another name?
Right. The same name.
I'm not following you too well. Okay.
I'm saying.
Yes.
The name I see on it is the same name that I'm seeing and the one that I have now. So it seems like that name is on it for quite a while.
Okay, but the thing is, the reality is, 90%, well, not less than 90, 70% of the names on the tax roll are people who you and I don't know because they were long dead from the 1920s.
Yeah,
So
so
I wouldn't let that bother me too much.
okay, that's what I want to find
Yes,
out if
what
it
I
will be a
want
problem.
you to do is to survey the little piece that you have and get a title so you can get a
Yeah,
tax
man.
in your name.
That's
All
why
right.
I recognize the name because that's what the
Yes,
process I am in.
don't let that bother you too much. The important thing
Okay.
is to pay the taxes. The taxes
Okay.
run with land. It doesn't matter the
Okay.
name too much, but sort out so you can get one in your name.
All right, man.
Thank you, sir. Number to call 922-411-225. And what I want to encourage persons, please get the titles. Because I thought he was going to say when he went to the tax office a different name. Because I have a lot of persons coming to me, they have been paying the taxes, and then they go to the tax office now and the name has changed because somebody has got title over their heads, or somebody has got a title for a little piece of the tax number is retired. So the old number you are using is not the number again. And a lot of time that is when people run into the office, and I'm saying to my listeners, do not wait until you have a problem to look about your title. Look about your title when you don't have a problem. Because when some of these problems come up, they are expensive to sort. You might be living on that land and don't know that somebody has surveyed it by night. And I don't really mean literally by night, but somebody, or you might have the land in the country, you don't live there. And you go down there and see where new survey pegs are there. Somebody has surveyed it. And before you look around, somebody has title. You got to pay the tax, and there's a new name on the tax because somebody has a title. For you to defeat that, no, you have to start a matter in the Supreme Court, and you're looking into hundreds of thousands of dollars to start a matter there. So you might lose the land if you can't afford that. So I'm saying to persons, look about your title, protect your land, protect your interest, because the only way if somebody even gets this title over your head, you have to go to court and prove fraud. That's the only way you can defeat a title. By proving that the person got it fraudulently. A text message. If a will only has one witness who is also a JP, and the JP signed as a housewife, the person has died, what will happen to that will with only one witness? If the will has one witness, it is not a will. That means the person died without a will. So anybody the person was willing it to in that will can't come and say it is mine under the will. That will is as news, that will can be thrown away. It's not a will if it has one witness. It must have two witnesses, and the two of them must be there at the same time when the person is signing the will. If one sign it today and they take it to somebody else and sign it tomorrow, it is not a will either. So these are some of the formalities that we need to know about and we need to observe. What documents do I need to transfer a lot of land from a company to an individual? The lot is a gift from the company to me. You just need to go to the lawyer with the title, the tax paper, name, address, occupation, TRN of you and of the company. You also have to get something from the registrar of companies to show that the company is still in good standing. The company has paid up whatever they need, their obligations. The company has satisfied its obligations to the registrar of companies. Because the company is no longer in existence, the title office is not going to allow the transfer. So you need to show good standing for the company. Title, tax paper, name, address, occupation, TRN, and of course you're going to need to have the value of the property because the lawyer will need to put that in the document as well. And that's how you're going to start. I want to say thanks to the persons who continue to listen to the program, and thanks to the new listeners, thanks to those abroad. And I want to encourage my listeners, get a title, survey your land next week. Well, next week, you know what I mean, or yesterday. Write a will. Do not wait until you are sick or dying. Write it now because we don't know what will happen. And I want to encourage persons to, plan your estate. Know who is to get what and put it together. Put it in writing. Buy a will form if you can't afford a lawyer. I want to say thanks to Dervan and thanks to Adrian for your continued support and to Power 106. And remind persons that you can find us in Winchester Business Center or in Ocho Rios, and that Kalita will be in Ocho Rios this Thursday. So please give us a call in office 908-1950 or 908-3518 to make an appointment to see her. I'm Gloria Brown, and this has been Land Solutions. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to sharing with you again next week. Have a good afternoon.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30.
Both sides of the story.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm to join in a series of discussions on building a strong relationship with your child. We invite children to call in and voice their concerns. This broadcast is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. Margins Pharmacy and Community Meds Pharmacy. That's a live broadcast of Kids Connect during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday, right here on Power 106 FM.
Oh yes. All right now. Hold on. All alone. Hey, hey, hey. Such a sad world. Such a wild world. Watch your children can't even play. Oh yes now. It's such a tough world. It's such a rough world. Watch your children gone astray. Oh God now. Mother Nature, yes, is everywhere. It's been destroyed in so many ways. Feeding the youths on the bread of destruction, denying them of their roots. Now they're building tomorrow weekend children while they're searching for the truth. Pushing their backs against the wall, cause they want to stand up tall, Lord. The wild world, such a sad world. Youth man, don't you go astray. No, 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 it's such a tough world, such a rough world. Someone gonna have to pay. Oh God now, hypocrites and parasites, a city filled with greed and strife, destroying some to make up one, corrupting earth cause they want to be strong, destroying life before they born. Brother man, you just got to hang on to the sad world, such a wild world. Youth man, don't you go astray. No, 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 such a tough world, such a rough world. Someone gonna have to pay. Oh God now. All right now. Oh, so small, yet so great. Come together now and keep your faith. Your love is all we've got to give. When you know that you've got to live. They're sitting high, we down on the low. Another brother got no place to go. The wild world is such a sad world. Watch your children gone astray. Oh yes now, it's such a tough world. It's such a rough world. Someone gonna have to pay. Oh God now. Oh yes now. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Rough World by Mikey Mystic. Those of you who listen to this program regularly, you would know that we featured Mikey Mystic some time ago in the last year in the throes of COVID-19 and looking at how our musicians and performers had been coping. Mikey Mystic is a veteran reggae artist, and he has also in the past assisted or used his talent to raise funds for worthy causes. One that readily comes to mind is the Spalding's Hospital. And yeah, so let's get an update. Last time we spoke with Mikey Mystic was last year. Let's do a follow-up now and see how things are going. Mikey Mystic, greetings. How are you?
Man, blessings, blessings, blessing. It's a pleasure always, you know. Both sides of the story.
That's right.
Yes, man. Give thanks, man.
Great. Thank you
Yes.
very much for joining us. Remind us, for those of us who know the story, remind us of your evolution in this music business, how it all started to
Well,
where you are now, please.
I started out listening to the meditation. The first job that I got was with a company known as Federal Records. And that was at Marcus Garvey Drive, which is now Tough Gun.
Yes.
So there I met the meditation and went to the meditation out at 2 Mile and listening to them rehearsing. And from there, they introduced me to, you know, various parts of the music until I meet all the musicians that you can think of. The only musician that never come to Federal Records was Bob Marley. And because he wasn't allowed to press his record there.
Oh.
And automatically Bob ended up buying Federal Records. But there was where I meet all the musicians and started out knowing about the music business from there.
And how would you characterize, how would you describe your career before COVID-19? What was life like before COVID-19 in terms of your experience as a performer, as a musician?
Well, much more fruitful, blossoming, you know, what do you call, you know, free up, you know, because, you know, on an evening like this, maybe, you know, Barry Salmon and I will be chilling out our Fab Five and we'll be discussing what we're going to do, what next, and, you know, hearing from various people all over the world, you know, how much dub plate they want, where next they're going to have a show, and you name it, you know.
And you no doubt you would have done a bit of touring as well?
Yes, man, because I've been through Europe, you know, 1 and 2 times, and, you know, was looking forward to go to Canada to do some things with some guys, and I've been invited to the American side, but, you know, was kind of hesitant, you know, because of, you know, let me say, various things, you know, which band are gonna travel with and how we're gonna set it up. So, you know, I've been around.
Yeah. And on the face of it, clearly there has been no significant change in terms of the health officials' stance when it comes on to events, hosting events.
No, there hasn't been.
Right, and so clearly, we wouldn't expect things to have gotten better then. I mean, is what pretty much the same or getting worse the longer?
I'll say, you know, I'll say I'm always an optimist. So I'll say it's getting better.
Yes.
Because what we do in a time like this, we work on how we can get the music out there, how we can promote, you know, how we can get more things known to the public.
Yes.
You know, but in terms of let me say having show, you know, that's a no because although they have allowed maybe about 30 people, in show business, the bigger the crowd is the more the promoter smile or the more the artist smile. Artists love to say big crowd.
Yes, yes.
and so does, you know, also those who make promotion. They love to say the big crowd.
Yes.
Big crowd after big to pay the bands, those who promote. And sometimes one show can cost millions to promote.
Yeah, true. I've been noticing that in Spain, I think they had a test event recently just to see how they could manage a concert in COVID time. And I think they're also doing that in England as well. In fact, I think Elton John has a show coming up in November. And before that, they're doing some experiments. Do you think that kind of approach could work here in Jamaica, where
you think in terms of virtual
No, not virtual at all. Because what we're talking about now are physical events. As I said, I think one of them was there was a test run in Spain, and I think in England, and they said, I don't remember if it was Spain or England. They said only 1 or 2 cases when they did the test for all of those people who were there, thousands of people, a few thousands. And those 2 cases did not contract the virus at the venue.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely those.
So they would have put certain things in place. So I'm just thinking, I'm just wondering if that is beyond us to be able to learn from some of those experiences and try and get some protocols that can fit our situation in Jamaica.
Yes, definitely. I think if those formula work there, because when you have shows at them place, you have thousands of people come out, hundreds of thousands sometimes.
Yeah.
So if we should use the model that they use, I think it could, just as be working good for us. But one thing with us, is very unfortunate to see at times that some of the things that we need to put in place, we have failed to put them in place, and some people don't comply.
True.
So
that is always the thing. You always have those who are just not
compliant.
Yeah.
But those models, if we use them, they definitely can work for us.
Yeah. I'm just bringing up the story, a couple of the stories. Euphoric clubbers hit dance floor again as Spain trials digital COVID-19 pass. And the story says mandatory face masks could not conceal their delight as clubbers in the Spanish city of Girona moved to the thumping beats of house music put on by a live DJ. For the first time in 8 months, Girona had some of its nightlife back this weekend, thanks to a pilot digital pass scheme, which authorities hope will allow for socializing without spreading coronavirus. Since October, concerts have been banned in the northeastern region of Catalonia, while restaurants and bars were required to close at night since December. But under a scheme to revive the hospitality sector, residents in Girona could, for one evening, obtain a digital pass, allowing them to go to a concert or dine out at 5 restaurants. For this, they had to download an app to their mobile phones and undergo an antigen COVID-19 test, show a negative PCR test, or proof that they had already had coronavirus. About 250 people snapped up the tickets for Saturday's club night in 20 minutes. And the story goes on. The pass was valid for up to 36 hours, and the cost and so on and so forth. So the rest of the world are already looking at ways in which they may or may not be able to get some level of activity in the entertainment sector without becoming a super spreader event.
Yes, because let me tell you, you see, this entertainment business, it contributes to every other facet of earning in life. You have the man who sell him like a can. You have the man who sell him cigarette. You have the lady who cook her soup. You have the beer companies
the cane man, the jelly man, the jerk chicken man. Yes,
it contributes to so much. So when you lock down entertainment, and when entertainment has to be locked down, it's very, very unfortunate.
Yes.
So we should be finding a way. For matter of fact, the Ministry of Culture and Gender, she should be meeting with players in the industry and say, look, man, we can't afford this to be happening for so long. Let us do something.
Yes.
Let us see what we can come up with, how we can, find a way in order to get people being, doing things again.
Let's talk some more. I see Althea Bernard, who is in England, telling us that 5,000 people were at Liverpool last night. So another test situation.
Yes.
Yes. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
My beg soldier for stop the bad driving and speeding on the motorcycle. See that now? Him crash and dead left him pitney them. I beg him wear long pants, proper shoes, jacket for protect him entire body. As the helmet, him said nobody now go see him. Well, who are gonna see him now 6 foot deep?
Motorcyclists, obey road rules. Wear your helmet. The pillion rider too. You must obtain a driver's license and insure and license your bike. This is the law. A message brought to you by the National Road Safety Council, the Ministry of National Security Live Good Program, and the National Health Fund.
The Board of Directors and Management of Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited Group, MMS, celebrates their 31st anniversary and the opening of the organization's new product sales and distribution center on Tuesday, May 4. Join Real Business with host Roston Hyman and Dr. Andrea Sutherland and Power Talk with host Ronnie Thwaites as they take you through the goals, history, and expansion of the company. This broadcast is brought to you by Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited Group, 1 Eureka Road, Kingston 5. That's a live broadcast of Real Business and Power Talk from the 31st anniversary and the opening of the organization's new product sales and distribution center, 14 Collins Green Avenue, right here on Power 106 FM.
Ooh, yeah. It's morning. No sun, no shine at all. Ooh. Children mourning, but no one here they come. You see, the weeds and the tails got to grow together. What kind of seed is sown? I've seen many tears, blood runs like river. To keep the fire burning. Ooh, ooh, children are mourning. Oh, can't you hear me calling?
Veteran reggae singer Mikey Mystic spending some time with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We had Mikey Mystic on this program last year, just trying to get a sense of how some of the musicians, the singers, and those in the entertainment business had been doing. And obviously, very little has changed since then, except that in the rest of the world, like Spain and the UK, they've been having a couple of trials to see, for example, the one raised by Althea on Facebook Live out of England. The story is, Mikey Mystic, that a pilot concert in Liverpool yesterday saw the largest number of people to have legally crammed into such a small space in the UK since the start of the pandemic. They had a euphoric night, but a lot is riding on its success. It's a site that has existed only in fond, fading memories of the past 13 months and has sometimes seemed destined to be consigned to the carefree pre-COVID age. 5,000 closely packed music fans dancing and jumping and singing in unison at the top of their lungs. No masks, no social distancing, no rule of 6, no risk of fines. Just having a good time with your mates, says the story, and it goes on. But here are the conditionalities now. So that yesterday's mini festival in Liverpool's Sefton Park was one of the government's official trial events to research how large gatherings can safely take place again. Here's what they had to go through. All ticket holders had to take a supervised lateral flow test at one of 4 testing centers in the city the day before, and were only allowed in if the test was negative. They were also strongly encouraged to take more sensitive PCR tests on the day of the show and to do so again 5 days later on Friday. That will be crucial to working out whether there was any spread of the virus. Scientists are also studying other factors like audience movement and interaction, ventilation, duration, catering, and alcohol consumption. Mysterious people with clipboards wandered around making notes. So that's as you said. I mean, you. I think you something along the lines that you are hopeful that going forward,
Yes.
something will be worked out somehow.
And Dervan, I just want to say, there's a lot of artists who have come depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, tell us about that, because I mean, what do artists are accustomed to doing shows night after night, week after week, and what do you do when nothing is happening in terms of entertainment?
Yeah, all right. Take for example, Abyssinian, who is a close virgin of mine, and he should have gone to States, and he has to be, let me say, locked down. It's practically locked down. So, a lot of them virgin who get locked down. I've seen even a lot of our artists died over the past year. A whole lot of artists died,
Yes.
The amount of artists died. Even one of them, I heard that Trinity died.
Oh yes, that's the I'm trying to remember.
DJ,
Yes.
three-piece suit man there.
Yes.
Bonnie Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
And
course,
all these
Toots.
artists who we are accustomed to have big crowd, no funeral, no, not even a program to say, boy, my colleague died, and we can have a program to show, say, boy, my brethren died and buried away. Not even like a tribute. So these things help artists to be, if you don't mind, get very low.
Yeah, I can
very
well
depressed,
imagine. And the other thing, of course, now is whether the virtual shows, I mean, give you the kind of energy that you would. Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's nothing like person-to-person interaction. Or performing and say, the crowd saying, boy, forward, and, give you a thing that, boy, you have to reel
Yes.
a tune
Yes.
and come forward.
Yeah, that energy is priceless.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Incomparable to anything, man.
So but what about using the time, for example, to do you try to maybe write a few songs, maybe do some recordings?
You have to write, and you have to go on, use the e-media and do whatever promotion you can, and the radio stations too, and whatever medium you get, just go on promote. And what I'd encourage others to do is don't stay still, because the moment you start stay still and start look at the past, it's like a one, show me last week. So you live your life in the present and not in the past. Don't look at the past.
Yes.
The past will depress you.
True.
Live your life in the present and look towards the future. Be hopeful for the future.
How would you describe your brand of reggae or the music that you do? What if somebody were to ask you what kind of music? What is your style?
People that is love, life, and reality. Whatever love, life, and reality shows me.
Yes.
That's what I write and sing about. It's not Jesus love the little children, but that is also included.
I get the picture.
Yes.
Yes. And therefore, clearly, this is where now managing whatever funds you get from royalties and so on, that is really what you might look to stop a gap. But there's nothing like the flow of funds on a more consistent basis.
No, nothing like it, because sometimes you are somewhere for the other day, and one call you, say, well, I want 2 dub plates, and your phone ring again. I want another 2 dub plates, and
Yes.
Sometimes it's unpredictable as to how much you will earn in a day. But at the same time, most artists are accustomed to a lavish lifestyle.
True.
But this COVID has taught me a lot of things that why when we get $10, we must pinch it.
Mm-hmm. but generally speaking, that wasn't necessarily your kind of lifestyle, was it? You were not
yes.
necessarily one who would be flossing, as they say.
No, that is true because, at the same time, I'm a man who give and I love to share. Whatever me get, I share to a lot of people.
Yes.
When we go to Trenchtown, I have to make sure that I carry something out of my earnings to give them.
Is that where you're from?
No, but I have a project in Trenchtown in which, people look towards me for things.
Oh. Mm-hmm. And that you've been doing that for how long?
For years, man. Years. I can't count the amount of years. Children and senior people down there look forward to see me at times.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they know that, at least if we get a $10, them can get two outside.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. So in the meantime, it's a case of just do what you can while you can until you get some indication as to what is likely to happen going forward.
Yes, man, and do your best too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it as if you're going to have any regrets.
Yes.
Do it for today.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen next day or a couple of days from now. So do your best today.
And that's the other thing, because you're only as good as your last performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can't afford to water down your performance.
In other words, don't drop the ball.
That's right.
Don't make the ball drop.
Mm-hmm. Well, for those who perhaps are listening to us, maybe they have virtual events or other approved occasions that they would love to have the smooth sounding voice of Mikey Mystic. How can they follow your work? How can they find you? How can they reach out to you?
Mikey Music is basically on YouTube and on many other platforms.
Yeah.
And let me say I'm an international figure still.
Yes.
And ones in a world like this, one can just use them fingertip and reach you wherever they want to reach you.
True. So, but you're basically you're ready. You are ready to grab whatever opportunities come your way.
Man. I'm not just ready and available.
Well, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for sharing again with us. Hopefully, the next time we speak, things will be even better. Going forward. That's always the hope.
Because
yes.
I think what is happening, Jamaica always learning, and
yes.
I think what the minister may be doing is looking at other, places that things are happening, and they want to boost their economy as well.
Yeah.
And they know that Jamaica music moves the economy more than anything else.
True, and that's the thing. It is so huge. The entertainment in Jamaica is humongous. It is really huge. So I can well imagine the number of musicians and singers and technical crew and the whole works. It's a rough time, as one of your songs says, eh?
Man, rough world, man.
Rough world.
Rough world.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Sorry, you're saying? Say that again.
Yeah. Beres did a big virtual show, one of them recent time here, and I'll be seeing him sometime, and he and I will be talking about what next and what has he been doing to, so I suppose to see him sometime today.
Well, I really hope something comes out of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Between now and the week to end, he and I will, brainstorm and look at one and two things and play one and two games because I'm a pool partner,
Yes, indeed. Well, keep us posted and we'll keep in touch, just to try and at least lift the spirits until such time.
Well,
yes.
And give thanks for this, and thanks to your listeners and thanks to all those who are involved, and also to all the musicians out there, have hope.
Yes.
Because there is always hope.
That's right.
And lean on the Almighty, because it's through the Almighty that all things are possible.
Well said. Well done. Thank you so much, Mikey Mystic.
Yeah, man, give thanks,
keep
bro.
doing what you're doing. All the best.
Yes, give thanks.
Bye-bye.
Denying them of their roots. Now they're building tomorrow with confusion while they're searching for the truth, pushing their backs against the wall, 'cause they want to stand up.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. It's onespotmedia.com. Watch your favorite local program or listen to your favorite radio station from anywhere in the world on your tablet, smartphone, or personal computer. Download the app now and keep up to date with your favorite local programs on TVJ. Check us out at onespotmedia.com. Follow us on Instagram, facebook.com/onespotmedia, and subscribe now. One Spot Media.
Western Jamaica, this one's for you. The Star, the people paper, now has a weekly edition just for you. Everything you need to know. The community pulse, the Star Salute, sports, entertainment, and so much more. The Western Star. Get your copy every Tuesday. The Star, the people paper.
Is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, Joe McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, Television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe. Rosenberg, H-Bomb, Sugar Ray, Panmunjom, Randall, the King and I, and the Catcher in the Rye, Eisenhower vaccine, England's got a new queen, Marciano, Liberace, satire, and a goodbye. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. Joseph Stalin, Alan Cobb, Nasser and Prokofiev, Rockefeller, Campanella, Communist Bloc. Roy Cohn, Juan Perón, Toscanini, Dacron, Gin, Food Falls, rock around the clock. Einstein, James Dean, Brooklyn's got a winning team. Davy Crockett, Peter Pan, Elvis Presley, Disneyland, Bardo, Budapest, Alabama, Khrushchev, Princess Grace, Peyton Grace, trouble in the Suez. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. Little Rock, Pasternak, Mickey Mantle, Kerouac, Sputnik, Joe and I, Bridge on the River Kwai, Lebanon, Charles de Gaulle, California baseball star, with the homicide, children of the little mile. Buddy Holly, Ben Hur, Space Monkey, Mafia, Hula Hoops, Castro, Edsel, a no-go. U2, Sigmund Reed, Paola and Kennedy, Chucky, Checker, Psycho, Belgians and the Congo. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. Hemingway, Eichmann, stranger in a strange land, in Berlin, Bay of Pigs invasion, Lawrence of Arabia, British Beatlemania, Old Miss, John Glenn, Distant Beats, Patterson, Pope Paul, Malcolm X, British politician, sex, JFK, blown away. What else do I have to say? We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't fight it, but we're trying to fight it. But control, Ho Chi Minh, Richard Nixon, back again, moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate, punk rock, Bacon, Reagan, Palestine, terror on the airline, Ayatollahs in Iran, Russians in Afghanistan, Wheel of Fortune, Sally Ride, heavy metal, suicide, foreign debts, homeless vets, AIDS, crack, burning gifts, hypodermics on the shore, China's under martial law, rock and roll, and cola wars, I can't take it anymore. We didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire, but when we were gone, we still went on and on and on and on and on and on. We didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire, but we didn't start the fire. We didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire, but we didn't light it, but the time is burning. We didn't start the fire.
Que ahora es en español. Son las 4:06. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:06. 现在几点了？4点06分。4:06 on Power 106. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We started this segment with Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire. And that's because this is World Press Freedom Day. As we outlined at the start of the program, World Press Freedom Day. Today, the 3rd of May, hashtag World Press Freedom Day. The 3rd of May acts as a reminder to governments of the need to respect their commitment to press freedom and is also a day of reflection among media professionals about issues of press freedom and professional ethics. Just as importantly, World Press Freedom Day is a day of support for media, which are targets for the restraint or abolition of press freedom. It is also a day of remembrance for those journalists who lost their lives in pursuit of a story. And we pause to remember our colleague, the late Michael Sharp, and his contribution to journalism here in Jamaica. Jamaica has a rich history when it comes to press freedom, as it is right now by the Reporters Without Borders, the organization Reporters Without Borders. Their data of press freedom ranking for ranking 2021, published in 2021. Jamaica is in 7th place. 7th. Now, this is out of 180 countries. So out of 180, and mind you, we don't have a perfect press. Who does here in Jamaica? But clearly, we have been getting some things right here in Jamaica. To be number 7 on a list of 180 countries when it comes to press freedom, that is something to cherish and to build on so that we go up the rankings instead of climbing down the rankings. Jamaica, the biggest little country in the world, is number 7 out of 180 countries when it comes to press freedom. Well, here's my all-time favorite quotation when it comes to press freedom. Listen to this. A cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the even greater values of freedom of expression and the right of the people to know. Those who find excuses to hide information from the public. And we're not talking sensitive information that has national security implications, but just information that should be generally available. If you're not careful, you have to jump through a few hoops in order to get such information. That, in and of itself, does not inspire confidence. And so this quotation by Judge Murray Gerfin from the Pentagon Papers case dated June 17, 1971, remains relevant to this day and will continue to be relevant long after we're gone. A cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the even greater values of freedom of expression and the right of the people to know. Words of Judge Murray, M-U-R-R-A-Y, Gerfin, G-U-R-F-E-I-N, from the Pentagon Papers case dated June 17, 1971. If you missed it, once again, on this World Press Freedom Day 2021, hashtag World Press Freedom Day, a cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press. And if, just so we have everybody in the loop, let's remind our listeners, cantankerous means bad-tempered or argumentative. Bad-tempered, argumentative, and uncooperative. So the press is always arguing, asking questions, probing, pressing. That's the idea. So that's the meaning of cantankerous. C-A-N-T-A-N-K-E-R-O-U-S. C-A-N-T-A-N-K-E-R-O-U-S. A cantankerous press. What's the other one? An obstinate press. The word obstinate means stubborn. So you're not letting up at all. You stay on the story. You stay on the issue. You don't stop until there is some reasonable plot. And even then, you keep pressing. But you're stubborn, obstinate. You're not letting go. It's like when you watch them training these dogs, when the agitator in the suit that the dogs run after and grab onto the suit, and no matter what kind of hitting and spinning that is happening, trying to get the dog away, the dog will not let go. That's the idea of the obstinate press, the stubborn press. And the other adjective is the ubiquitous press. Ubiquitous, U-B-I-Q-U-I-T-O-U-S. U-B-I-Q-U-I-T-O-U-S, meaning appearing or found everywhere. So anywhere you turn, Maca must juke you, in a manner of speaking, in Jamaican parlance, when it comes on to the press holding you accountable. That's the idea. So the quotation once again, a cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the even greater values of freedom of expression and the right of the people to know. The words there of Judge Murray Gerfin, G-U-R-F-E-I-N, Gerfin, from the Pentagon Papers case, June 17, 1971. There's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Both sides of the story.
Firefighters dedicate their lives to the protection of life and property. Sometimes that dedication is in the form of countless hours volunteered over many years. For others, it is many selfless years working in the industry. Join both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm as he highlights the celebration in observance of International Firefighters Day, Tuesday, May 4, between 2 to 5 p.m. This broadcast is brought to you by National Safety Limited. Your safety is our concern. And Hose Assembly and Supplies, equipping Jamaica for success. That's a live broadcast in observance of International Firefighters Day during both sides of the story on Tuesday, May 4, right here on Power 106 FM.
John McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe.
Ahora es en español. Son las 4:16 que le retiro en français, les 4:16. 现在TDN 了，4 DN 是了分 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Good afternoon to Jennifer Stewart. We started reading her message earlier on, and then we shared an experience we had in the community on Sunday morning. She says, "Good day, Sir Dervan. Please give Tony Simpson a big shout out for me. He lives at 20th." Well, I'm not sure we want to give out the man's address like that. But she says, please give Tony Simpson a big shout out for me. He always listens to you. Hope he hears. Greetings, Tony Simpson. Thank you very much for being a faithful listener to both sides of the story. Jacqueline Simmons, good afternoon. Blessings to you too. Cindy Brissett, good afternoon. Andrew Alves says, this man has a gift with words. Wonder who he's talking about. Inez Campbell-Brown, we read that message already. This one says, Sir Dervan, I don't live outside, so I don't know what's going on there. That area is South Road where you went. Thank you very much for that. Still very much within the confines of the community. Samantha German says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. It's unfortunate that Power 106 is out since Thursday, the 29th of April in Pondside, Hanover. I had no idea. Hold on, let's do a screenshot. One moment. Let's take a picture here. And we're doing it on this phone because this is the one with the transmission group. So it gets straight to the people whose business it is to ensure that the transmission services of the group are up and running. And so here we go. Snapping a picture right now and forwarding it to the transmission group. We'll fill you in as time goes by. Samantha, sorry to hear of your situation in terms of not being able to hear Power 106 in Pondside, Hanover, since Thursday the 29th. That's not good. Sorry we didn't get that message before now, though, but better late than never. Sorry about that, Samantha and others in Pondside, Hanover. Errol Haywood in Maryland says, good afternoon, Sir D. Good message for any type of work. Always do your best. Joan in Bermuda is with us. Mikey Jarrett says, good day, blessings and blessed love, Mr. Malcolm from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you, Mikey Jarrett. And let's go now to the text line, which doubles as the WhatsApp line. There's a WhatsApp call coming through. Let's take that call now. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I was listening to your interview on the single man. I think Mikey Mystic is there?
Yes, Mikey Mystic.
Yeah, but one thing I know is not just him alone. Many entertainers that I listen to the interview. And when they say can't reach him through social media, but sometimes if they don't leave a number, I try to get them through the social media. Sometimes the quick response you want from them, you package together, you don't get as fast as you want. They miss that opportunity. So sometimes best if they have a number, they can reach them through.
Well, if you ever need to reach Mikey Mystic, we will share your number with him or his number with you.
Okay. All right. Back to the media now.
Yes.
Now, you say we have a right to know, right?
Absolutely.
But one thing I noticed with the media here in Jamaica, sometimes when something hit the news, they don't stay on top of it until the case closes out. If you take a note of the guy that the policeman needed in the neck,
George Floyd. Yes.
Yeah, you see the media stay on top of it until him go through the trial
and it's not over yet because the other police. It's not over yet because the other policemen are to go on trial as well pretty soon.
Yeah. So in Jamaica, some of the things that get the news, they slide it 1 and 2 times through the news, and that's it. I think yesterday I was listening to the news where a man in one pit there, and I don't know if it was the police or the fireman said somebody was there watching, and on the arrival of the police, the person run. Now, if the media stay on top of that and work with the police, I'm pretty sure they will take those people off the street. But if you make it a slide 1 and 2 times through the news and that's it, then it's come like everyday thing people used to say. So that.
Yeah, follow up is key.
Yeah. So they need to do that. Stay on top of it until.
Not that it is not done. Maybe we could do more of that. Because it is done.
I remember. So we expect to get some more information about it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, man. So talk to your colleague there. Let them stay on top of it, and because to me, what the criminal is doing. I remember years ago when somebody get wanted, and they used to have them on the TV, the radio, the newspaper until they take them off the street. Those things still happening?
Yeah, up to relatively recently, there were some images that were shared with the public of persons of interest or wanted people.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a one-time deal, you see it today, see it again till probably a year from now. It feature them very often like your advertiser show.
Well, what
the
police have been doing for some time now is asking them to turn themselves in, or to turn, whether with their lawyers or whoever, but turn themselves in by a certain time. And what is remarkable is that since 2010, and I mark that year, since 2010, we have seen more persons of interest being brought in or on their own without any urging from any mother or pastor or whoever, just presenting themselves to the nearest police station and enhancing the work of the police one way or another. Either that they can help the police, or they themselves, after questioning in the presence of their lawyer or lawyers, would find that they might have to spend some time in custody.
Well, as I say, we are dependent on the media, so when something go wrong, the media will feed us with information, so they need to stay on top of the game.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, thank you. Yeah, man, thank you very much, man.
Thank you for the call. All the best. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. This is Owen.
Yes, Owen in Mandeville, Manchester.
Yes, Owen in Mandeville, Manchester. How are you doing?
I am fine, thanks.
Day?
And you?
I am good. Happy
Good.
International Press Freedom Day.
Thank you.
Okay. I would like to send out a big up to a person that I only heard his first name. A farmer Rohan in Dervan, Manchester. I heard a program on the BBC I think it was one day last week, that they interviewed this farmer, a young farmer, and I'm telling you, man, I was most impressed with his with what he did, what he gave across in his interview. A young farmer, and he was outlining his situation with regards to the COVID and how it affected him and so on. And a program called Don't Log Off. It's a 10-part program, and his was the last of the 10 parts. And I'm telling you, I was really impressed with him. Eloquent and very, quite informative in his way. And I must say a big up to him. I don't know his other name, but it's Farmer Rohan over in Devon. Devon is a district between, I would say, like Christiana and Mile Gully in that area there,
Right.
Right. It was I almost forgot. And to his young daughter, infant daughter called Rain. And I mean, when he explained why he called his daughter Rain, I was most impressed because of the lack of rain. And then he said, we want more rain. And, when he said it was so nice. It just sounded so nice.
Yeah.
Really sounded nice. So I must say congratulations to him on his interview.
Great. We join you.
Go ahead, sir.
I was saying we join you in celebrating his work.
Yes, yes, beautiful. No, I just have one more thing to say. Last week I had called you and I was mentioning something about the government, the foreign affairs
yes,
ministry. But you recall it on Friday.
Yes.
But when you recall it, you didn't mention anything that I had spoken about. You were speaking about Indians and the vaccines. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't mention the Indians, And I was saying, how come you mentioned the Indians and I didn't even raise the Indians with the vaccine and their plight and whatever at that time? And believe me, I dialed the numbers.
Whoa, that's a lot of wind there.
I had to go away from the radio, so I'm on the outside.
Right.
Sorry about that. Let me see. Yeah, and I'm saying, I dialed the station number 52 times, and I couldn't get a word because I wanted to ask you, if in other words, my name got caught up with what you were expounding about the Indians and the vaccines. And I'm saying, no, I don't think it was fair to me because I didn't mention...
No, man, it's that was just a general reference to say you were talking about foreign policy the last time you called. Well,
Right.
here is an example of diplomacy, or I don't remember how countries have to operate from the standpoint of a friend to all, enemy to none. Because here's a situation where India were quick to send to deliver to us 50,000 doses of the vaccine. And here we have a situation now where, for example, flights would have, sorry, one moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Both sides of the story.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm to join in a series of discussions on building a strong relationship with your child. We invite children to call in and voice their concerns. This broadcast is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, Every Child Deserves Protection, Margins Pharmacy, and Community Meds Pharmacy. That's a live broadcast of Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday, right here on Power 106 FM.
Right. So you get a gift from India, but then there comes a time when the situation in India is such that keeping your borders open to India might leave you vulnerable to the new strain and other things. So it's not that you would then have anything against India, but you are doing what any government anywhere in the world would do. Same thing with England. We closed the borders on England pretty early in the day because the first case was from the UK, and we closed the borders again earlier this year or a few months ago, and managed to reopen the borders on Saturday, the 1st of May.
Right.
So I was just making a general point, about how governments have to be nimble and mindful in their relations and relationships with other countries.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, it wasn't knocking you, but I was while I listened, I was saying, but that none of those points were what I was raising. Anyway,
no, but that's how my head works. You see,
yes,
for example, when I read a lot, I find there's information that is stored, and then you say something, you say bus, and then I remember reading about a bus, and I might call your name because you had said something. You are saying something about bus, but I read a story about bus. That's how my head works. So
Yeah,
I'm always looking
that.
to make connections.
Yes.
Mm.
And finally,
Yes.
and you know, when you now that you raised that, and then over the weekend, the Serum Institute of India put out a statement that they're blaming the Modi government for
Which government?
The Indian Prime Minister, was his name Modi?
Oh, Narendra Modi. Yes.
That's what I said. Yes. They put out a statement blaming the Prime Minister's regime for not ordering enough vaccines for themselves early enough, right? And I said to myself, that was probably why India was able to make donations to other countries, because at that time there wasn't any dire request on their part. They had stocks which they know they had to get out, and their government wasn't really putting out any urgent request until they had to eventually ban the exportation of the thing. And I'm saying how ironic the whole thing was. That's what I thought of after they came out with that.
Understandably so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Dervan. I mean, I like discussing and listening to you, so I just thought I would raise those things, and
We
that's how it
appreciate
goes.
your participation. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for calling.
you're welcome. You're
All
welcome.
the best. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Lord Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I would like to ask you, can Jamaica boast of press freedom?
No, Jamaica doesn't need to boast about that. There's an organization called Reporters Without Borders.
Borders, I heard you mention that.
And that's the organization that ranks freedom of the press in Jamaica as to make Jamaica number 7 out of 180 countries in terms of press freedom.
I am wondering if they have any idea of an attempt by a journalist by the name of Sarah Burton, who was trying to give some information to the public about the Prime Minister's income. And she was suddenly stopped by threatening for the matter to be taken to court.
Having said that, though, the Prime Minister had to declare all of that, and it was declared.
You mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Dervan. That is long after. When now they have, when Carl Harris and a matter of fact, Dirk Harris gave some information about that matter. And he was called in by the Integrity Commission to review his report and to make some adjustment. Are you aware of
And
that?
what does that say to you?
He said that something was being covered up.
By whom? Who can you say definitively? With evidence. With evidence that was the Integrity Commission.
Yes.
Oh.
That is where
and how would it benefit these men of integrity, mostly retired, who have no axe to grind at this stage in their lives, who should be enjoying retirement, but decided to continue serving in the capacities in which they are serving? How would that benefit them?
But Dervan, don't each member of the Integrity Commission earn $90,000 for each meeting, for a 2-hour meeting?
I don't know the amount of money that they earn, but even then, they don't need the money either. These men have done well for themselves by virtue of the positions they have held as judges, etc. over time.
They're being a call to serve in these capacities. It should be voluntary. There should be no remuneration.
In an ideal world, but there's a thing called opportunity cost, which I learned when I did economics in school, that people are giving up like I look, I get calls all the time to host this event, to MC this show, etc. And I say to people, you actually can't pay me to do what you want me to do, because my time with my family means much more to me than to be going all over the place, quite frankly. So when somebody decides to make that sacrifice, surely there has to be some incentive, unless the person just decides, look, I'm going to give the rest of my life to my country in terms of the time I have left in this post retirement period.
Dervan, let me tell you something. I don't know. Your generation, Malcolm, is from the western part of this country, Thailand, because I have 2 teachers that taught me in school in Westmoreland, 2 Malcolms. They're all head teachers for 2 different schools.
Yeah, we're all related. There's a ship, the failed Scottish expedition that they got shipwrecked along the coast in St. Elizabeth. And and so there is a connection. My father is actually from Troy in Trelawney.
Okay.
And he lived as his father, my grandfather, lived in a place called or near was it Park Mountain? Yes.
That is in Westmoreland.
I
know where that is.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
oh, this thing with freedom of the press. We're not enjoying it because there are certain things. Look at the
But
thing
it's not our people in Jamaica. This is people who are outside looking in. It's not that
I understand that, Mr. Malcolm.
Yeah, this is what they have said. So I would humbly suggest you write them then. If you think that they write a letter to Reporters Without Borders and tell them you don't agree with their designation, putting Jamaica at seventh in the world in terms of press freedom.
Yes, I heard it this morning.
Yes.
Seventh in the world, Mr. Malcolm. But look at Mr. Malcolm. Look at something that happened at a lawyer's office in Barbican.
Not office.
Home in Barbican. Sorry, thanks to the correction. And up to this day, it cannot come to light.
But that doesn't have anything to do with the press. The press has been reporting it, and ever so often, it is mentioned on this program. It is people message us about it. People call talk shows about it. The police. It goes back to the police. I mean, we can't do the police work for them. The police say they have done their work, and having done their work up to this point, they have no evidence that points to any particular individual. That's what the police tells us.
Just give me a 1 minute hearing.
Yes.
Who was the policeman in charge of the investigation at the time? In charge of crime at the time?
I don't remember. There are some gremlins running in your line though. Like it's a little distracting.
I'm not hearing.
Or is it from our end?
Discussion. Anyway, that man,
Yes,
the man who was in charge of crime, is now the commissioner of police.
Who was in charge of crime? Who is now commissioner of police?
The present commissioner of police.
No, man. The present commissioner of police. Let's remind you, he was head of the army first of all. He was head of the army, and then I think I hear you faintly in the background trying to talk while I'm talking. I'll just finish and then you can respond. So he started out in he was the head of the what's the correct designation? He was the chief of defense staff. And then the government decided to create a position through the Minister of Defense, who is the Prime Minister, the Minister of Defense, and in consultation with the Defense Board and the Security Council, etc., decided to create a position of National Security Advisor. So Major General Anthony Anderson served as Jamaica's first ever National Security Advisor. And then from there, the next thing we knew, he vied for the position along with a couple of others from the JCF, and I'm not sure elsewhere, for the position of police commissioner. And he got the position of police commissioner.
Mr. Malcolm,
yes.
If I make one suggestion to you before I go.
Yes.
You think appointments like those should take place just like, let us try and emulate the American system, how men...
Well, apparently you haven't been listening to this program long enough, because we have been there. We have been through that over and over again on this program, that it would be nice. Well, nice is just such an everyday word. It would serve this country well to have a system similar to what they have in America when you're seeking to occupy certain positions, where both sides basically grill you to see how suited you are for the position. So I'm all for that. I'm with you on that.
Well, nice speaking to you, Mr. Malcolm.
Same here.
And I enjoy you every afternoon.
I appreciate
that. I am a retired person.
Oh, I pray and hope that I get to your age at least, and to be able to enjoy retirement as you are now.
You want to hear it?
Eh?
You want to hear it?
What retirement sounds like?
No, the age.
Oh, the age. Go ahead.
81.
I don't believe that.
Indeed.
You sound like 51.
Yeah, I'm 81.
You're doing well, man. That's
September
excellent.
coming, I'll be 82.
That sounds like you take care of yourself. What do you eat?
Well, I rest my body. When I was a young man, I served in the police force for 7 years.
Oh.
And I went to another
All right.
government department.
Hold on, don't mean to hold you up, but we have to take another break. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Join OneSpotMedia.com for 5 exhilarating days of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships live on OneSpotMedia.com pay-per-view from May 11 to May 15, 2021. Purchase your early bird season pass by April 26 for only US $25.99. The early bird season pass by May 3 for US $27.99, or the regular season pass for US $34.99. Simply log in to OneSpotMedia.com, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go, so don't miss out on Jamaica's most anticipated sporting event. Purchase your pay-per-view ticket today.
Terror on the airline, Ayatollahs in Iran, Russians in Afghanistan, Wheel of Fortune, Sally.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 14. 现在几点了？5点加14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? So I would imagine you had a productive 7 years in the JCF?
Yes, but at the latter part of it, there's another a rank much higher than my rank, because I didn't reach further than constable.
Yeah.
We couldn't get along, so I had to leave.
Oh.
Before something else happened, I retired and I know where I was going.
I know what you mean.
And I enjoyed myself for the 27 years that I spent in that government department.
Well done. Well done.
And I'm still enjoying myself as a retiree.
And you know, it's good that you decided when to go. There's something about knowing when to
leave.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
There's an inspector there that we couldn't get along.
Yes.
So he was the boss, so I prefer to leave.
Yeah, and you see, there are a lot of situations, even at the national level, where it would help the nation if some people were to step up and say, I am not worthy, and I hereby relinquish this position. It would save this country a lot of time and energy, as opposed to hanging on for dear life.
And being vexed and all sorts of things. You know, when I was a little boy coming up in Westmoreland, I had two ambitions, to be a policeman or a parson. And I thank God I became a policeman.
And you had children?
What?
I'm asking because, you know, in Jamaica, growing up, they would say, parson and police picnic bad.
No. Well, I loved it because police used to visit my school and have talk with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I like to see them in the uniform, and I said, I must wear that one day.
Yes.
And I did it for 7 years.
Mm.
But after that, leaving and going to the KCC, where I enjoyed myself, I worked assiduously.
Yes.
Because people come from United Nations and carry out investigation of the local government system. Mm-hmm. And when I explained to the gentleman what the local government system was like now, he took it back to the United Nations because the town clerk got a letter to that effect.
Oh.
Yeah. I had the history of the organization then. I know it by my fingers, to my fingers' end.
Yes.
I spent 27 years there that I love very much.
Well, on behalf of the governments past and present and the people of Jamaica, we salute you for your contribution to this nation. Well
Thank you
done.
very much, and have a very pleasant evening.
You too. Take
Yeah.
care.
Bye.
All the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Norman Hines, good afternoon to you. Steve McDonald says, Dervan Malcolm, your family is from Scotland too. We may be related. That explains it, considering you didn't attend Manning's. Please, Steve. You're looking company, right? Norman Hines says, good afternoon to you too, Norman Hines. Joan in Bermuda, still with us. Thank you, Joan. And over now to here's another message which we have shared. Yes, we sent it to the transmission group as well. Byrony says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Nothing from Power 106 from this morning in Golden Grove and Claremont, St. Anne. That area seems to be rather problematic. Ever so often, there's pardon the use of the expression, a flare-up in that area. Let's see some more messages. We saw this story. Tony Kelly was sharing this story with us of the Kenyan anti-vaccine doctor who died from COVID-19. A Kenyan doctor who became a vociferous opponent of COVID-19 vaccines has succumbed to the virus weeks after saying the jabs, as in the vaccine, was totally unnecessary. Dr. Stephen Karanja. And that's what Tony Kelly was sharing with us there. Thank you, Tony Kelly. The loss of any life is to be regretted. And you were just, those are the facts of that situation. Vision says, greetings, teacher. Also, Power 106 staff. Hope you all had a great and safe weekend. Looking forward to today's lesson. Thanks for the platform. Thank you, Vision. All the very best to you. Michael in St. Anne's Bay says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. May being Child Month and taking into consideration the level of violence children are encountering. You know, we have been here before. I'm sorry, it's sad to say it. But when I heard the Betty Ann Blaine speaking with Ronnie Thwaites earlier, I'm saying, and I think they did, Betty Ann Blaine did allude to that point as well, that we have been here before. This is not the first Child Month where children have been greeted with violence and abuse in significant proportions. We have been here before. I remember it like yesterday, quite frankly. Remember it like yesterday. We have been here a few times, and so much so that we were saying, and we're still saying today, can you imagine what a way to start Child Month? What a way to start Child Month. And we know this as well because we go through the archives virtually every day to look back at some of the things that happened around this time. And we don't want to wake those, we don't want to stir up those right now. But yeah, the message goes on. It's sad, but we've been here before. May being Child Month and taking into consideration the level of violence children are encountering, I'm wondering if the Minister of Education would include self-defense and basic first aid in the school's curriculum. Not bad. I think the Red Cross, there are Red Cross clubs in schools, I believe, and they would teach those skills as well. In terms of self-defense, there are some schools that have programs in Taekwondo and Karate. But I get the point you're making. The physical education schedule could be extended by an hour to accommodate these additions. With this training, children would be better able to protect themselves and care for each other. From Michael in St. Anne's Bay. P.S. Your radio broadcast is not clear in this area. So here's another message we're sending to the transmission group. They're getting them on rapid this afternoon. That's not good, though. We never like to hear that our listeners are not hearing us. That's just that's never good. That's never good. If people are not, I know how I listen to radio. If I turn and I'm not hearing anything, I gone. I find another station to listen to. And if I'm surfing the dial and I come upon something that sounds interesting or maybe a nice song or something like that. But yeah, indeed. Thank you for your message, Michael. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. Thank you for your message as well. Patriotic Jamaican says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. All I listened to you talking about the noise coming from the high-rise building on a Sunday morning, I anticipated the end of the story where the cops were called and the situation remedied. I was a bit disappointed when it ended without such an action. There's no action that can be taken outside of the noise. The buildings are pretty close. The high-rise building is pretty close to the ice cream place. So it's not about the decibels. The sound, I didn't say the sound was loud or excessively loud, in which case you would have the Noise Abatement Act coming into play. What we were concerned about was the content, the lyrical content of the recording on a Sunday morning. This was between 7:54 and 8:05 a.m. The lyrical content coming out of the audio system on that building overlooking the ice cream place. We have all these laws like Noise Abatement Act, etc. Right? I think that's what you are thinking of. No, it wasn't the noise level. It was what was coming out in terms of the recording or recordings being played. But we are always hesitant to enforce them. And if we can't address the simple, easy issues, how are we going to deal with those humongous problems plaguing the country? Yes, the broken window syndrome is alive and well in Jamaica. Thank you, Patriotic Jamaican in New York. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. What is the purpose of Kingston Wharf if tax-paying Jamaicans cannot benefit from any of the what? Operations down there? What is happening? Whenever I send food and clothes for my family and friends back home, it cost I more than an arm and a leg. We need legislation changes. There is something, check it out. Be careful now, Cuban in Georgia. I would not listen without, let me put it another way. Can you get the facts from Kingston? And it's not even Kingston Wharves that, it's it's customs actually. That's customs. And but they do have, I don't know if it's still in place, but there's a policy where you pay only $3,000 for the barrel, only $3,000 to clear the barrel or something like that, unless that has ended. But yeah, there is that. And then there's also the situation where if you are shipping things in these barrels of a certain type and cost, it could trigger the system that says, hey, you have to pay for this. But we're supposed to have someone from, is it Kingston Wharves or Jamaica Customs in a few days' time. Hopefully we remember at that time and put this to them. We're out of time as usual. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 3rd of May 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.
Dervan Gordon. Coming up in the news segment of Beyond the Headlines today, Monday, May 3, 2021. Suspect taken into custody 3 months ago following the killing of 5 homeless men, again detained in relation to another attack on street people. Sissoko probing incident in which a 12-year-old girl was allegedly drugged and sexually assaulted by a man and his girlfriend. Office of the Children's Advocate reports a marginal increase in the number of child abuse cases in Jamaica. Teachers take offense to Education Minister accusing them of shortchanging students. In business news, the JSE index declines